was born by the roadside, somewhere in County Kildare.
I think it's all over. It is, and Kildare are the champions. Champions for the first time in 42 years.
And it's the red I will repair.
The Cora of Kildare.
Kildare Speaks with Fiorua. Hello and welcome to Kildare Speaks with me, Fiorua. We are on episode number 6. What part of the year are we in now? Oh, we're at the start of August, and the podcast would have started around the end of June. So we've come through the summer, helping you to pass the day and pass the night with your earphones or your old transistor radio or whatever way you like to listen to us. We are very grateful. Again, I keep using the plural we to try and make me feel like I'm not alone here in this little dark studio, but I am. So it's not so much we as I, and I am very grateful for your ears to be listening in every week. And I've been consistent, in fairness to me, since I started to do the podcast. I've put out one once a week. Most of the time it's been on a Thursday. This week it's on a Friday. So it's always either a Thursday or a Friday I throw a new podcast up. And as I said, we're on episode 6, so we're flying through them. And I have plenty more guests to interview. I think this is going to go on for a while, lads. There's lots of people in the county that I'd like to interview. And again, as I said before, if you have anyone that you'd like to recommend me to go and have a chat with, please send me a message on the Facebook page. The Facebook page is just facebook.com/Kildare Speaks podcast. Or you can email me on fioruamusic@gmail.com. So, again, I'd like to thank Kildare County Council, without who we would not be able to do this, you see, because I need to get equipment, and these podcasts take time, and sometimes I have to travel to interview people. So it's really, really a nice little thing to have a little bit of funding to keep me going with this podcast. So we're on to episode 6. What else do I have to tell you? I want to thank you again for listening to previous. Just share the episodes if you like them. I know there's a few people that have shared them recently, and it's a very effective way of getting the message out. And then if people hear it, they'll try and the subscription thing. The podcasts are on YouTube as well, so you can subscribe. I can't say subscribe. You can subscribe there as well. You can subscribe on Spreaker as well, and of course you can subscribe on Spotify. So wherever you listen to it, try and subscribe, and that way you won't miss an episode. And again, just word of mouth, spread the word, keep it going. This is about Kildare. It's about people in Kildare. So especially those of you who are based in Kildare or from Kildare, from all over the world, this is your podcast, and that's the way we want to present it. You know, this is for you. This is an opportunity for you to have a say. If you want to contact me or talk about your business, talk about whatever you're getting up to, please feel free to send me a message. So this week we have a guest called Aine Mangan, and Aine Mangan is the woman behind the Into Kildare. I wouldn't say website as much as Into Kildare. It's a whole concept, it's a whole idea, a way of promoting Kildare. So if you're interested in how we attract people to come into Kildare, and various projects that we have done to bring visitors in, and if you're a business or if you're an attraction within the county of Kildare and you want to you want to use Into Kildare as a vehicle to get heard and seen, the website is fantastic. You know, it's got everything from horse racing to forest walks to food to local businesses. The whole lot is in there. It's a great kind of a hub, you know, for anything to do with the county. So Into Kildare, I became aware of it only a year ago when I was asked to bring the people from the Rosa Tralee, the roses around the county, and I've seen firsthand the work that Aine put into the whole project. So I thought I'd have a chat with her and ask her about the whole Into Kildare thing, especially when we're going through this strange period for tourism and life in general. So episode 6 is Aine Mangan, and I'll see you next week. Enjoy, folks. So Aine, how are you today?
Hi, Owen. I'm great, thank you.
You're very welcome to my podcast, Kildare Speaks.
Super.
Um,
Thanks for having us on.
what part of the county are you in?
Currently, I'm just home, so I'm in Newbridge. But
Lovely.
yeah, I work. My office is based in Naas, and then I'm originally from Rathangan, so Aine Mangan from Rathangan.
Lovely stuff. It rhymes.
Yes,
You must have done. You must have been really popular in school.
I was more when I lived abroad, actually.
Okay.
But yeah, trying to explain to people where you're from. But yeah, it's great to be back in Kildare.
So you were abroad for a while before you settled back?
Yeah, I did hotel management, and then the time there was no work when we left college, so we all headed over to London, and I worked with a gentleman called Paul Carthy. He was the manager of Guinness Storehouse. He brought us over to open a few hotels, and then brought me to the Middle East. And yeah, I was there for a number of years, so about 16 years away, and then came back
Right.
to
So
open
Kildare,
Carthy.
was the Guinness Storehouse kind of only setting up then, or I didn't?
No, he came back to manage that. He worked
Okay.
on it for a number of years, but I came back to open Carton House in
Yeah.
2006 with the Ryder Cup. So yeah, so it's been great, and I've been working with Kildare Fáilte for I think just over 3 years now. So time
Okay.
is flying.
So Kildare Fáilte then, I'm going to try and get the family tree together. Kildare Fáilte then would have been part of the evolution that became Into Kildare. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, actually Kildare Fáilte was founded I think 27 or 28 years ago by a group of volunteers to try and bring tourism to Kildare and yeah, have some business from it. So it's been on the go for a number of years with many volunteers giving their time to
Yeah.
promote the county. And then more recently, they had employed somebody. So it's a tourism arm for the county council who support us. And then we have members also who pay a membership fee to support tourism in the county.
So it's kind of like a collective hub then Into Kildare. I'm just looking at the website. It kind of has that community feel as well as a kind of like a tourism looking website. It's also kind of like where Kildare businesses and Kildare attractions can kind of liaise with each other. Is that fair to say? Or
Yeah, it's all about collaboration, to be honest with you. And I suppose over the COVID time, it's come to the forefront to show how resilient the tourism industry is in Kildare and how people are helping each other and supporting each other. So it's a number of stakeholders. Obviously, from a funding perspective, Kildare County Council, and we promote tourism to the county. So community is important. Community is tourism, in my opinion. But
yeah.
yeah, so tourism plays a major part in the economy. There's over 600 enterprises involved in accommodation, food and beverage. So it employs almost 7,000 people. So
And do you
it's
think? Sorry, do you think that just for the listeners' knowledge, this is a Zoom conversation? You've probably done. We're doing pretty well, but there might be a little bit of interrupting each other by accident as we go along. We should be fine. So, do you think that Kildare was kind of neglected a little bit when it came to tourism, as opposed to maybe the West Coast or maybe Dublin or big cities?
Everybody has their own opinion on that. I mean, obviously, I'd love to do more coming back to the county where I'm from and promoting it. And after working in tourism around the world for many years, you want to do as much as you can. But obviously, I was on my own for some time. Now we are building a team and obviously link in with the different stakeholders around the county. But it always is a case of funding and trying to keep our voice out there. In comparison to other counties that perhaps may have more resources. But
Yeah.
I think we do well with what we have. And
Yeah, I definitely think there's a vast improvement in recent years as regards putting Kildare on the map, and I think that's what Into Kildare seems to be doing, which is great. I was just wondering maybe whether it was maybe like the second cousin of a lot of places in years gone by, especially, it's very hard to compete with certain
Kerry
places,
and Kildare.
Kerry and Kildare
Yeah.
and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But do you find in the last few years that international tourists are dropping into Kildare? Or?
Not as many, being honest with you, not as many as people probably go on about, but certainly they're key to the county, and we are on Dublin's doorstep, which for once has given us an advantage during this time. But it's a key factor. We're looking at business tourism coming into Ireland, and we were working with Dublin Convention Bureau on that as well. So we're exploring all avenues. I mean, local tourism now, which is one of the things I started in, was being a tourist in my own county and trying to encourage that. And that's very important during these times now. So it's local for locals. And then we're looking at different counties nationally. And it won't be really till the end of next year before, in my opinion anyway, that tour. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. So I suppose that's what we're predicting anyway.
Yeah, so I suppose we might as well mention the elephant in the room, the whole COVID business that's been going on since the start of the tourists. I was working in Dublin as a tour guide just at the very maybe start of February, and then suddenly when we were planning all this the coming season, it all fell apart. But you have obviously witnessed it firsthand as regards how people coped within the tourism industry and within businesses as well. But do you think that because Kildare maybe had a lot of people coming from other parts of Ireland to visit it, that we had a little bit of an advantage there?
I mean, I think the key thing for me about Kildare is the people in Kildare. And I suppose we're very welcoming to everybody coming into the county, no matter where or who you are. So I think it really came through with, particularly I noticed in the tourism network, which was the hardest hit really, how people have worked together, helped each other. We hosted a lot of support mechanisms, I suppose. We're just facilitators really, but we had some guest speakers like Owen Corey, who's from Kildare, and he's on the National Tourism Recovery Task Force. And then we had David McWilliams just recently talking about small businesses and what's needed. So it was great to see.
That was run by Into Kildare, was it? Something that you did yourselves? Yeah.
We've been doing quite a lot, but I mean, you can never do enough. But it's just, it's just, I found it hard for people that have worked very hard all their lives.
Yeah.
So, they have to completely change, but people have embraced it, and I suppose IT has been key, and the local enterprise board has been fantastic in supporting businesses to get up and running through grants, and then obviously the government interventions as well have really helped. So people are positive; they're putting a positive face on, but I'm sure it's not easy.
Yes, yeah. So maybe let's look at each side of the COVID period. Let's look at the past. And I met you through the Rose of Tralee, where it was a great event where we brought the roses around the county. How did that come about?
Well, that was there before I arrived actually, and really, I took it on board to try and, I suppose, share the love around the county and explore places that haven't been highlighted as much, as other typical attractions. So, we end up in Moon, we ended up in Tim, all around the county, and at Kai quite a bit as well, and just showcasing really the local community and the welcome the roses received. I mean, that was the biggest feedback from it all.
That's true, where we bring people to a certain location or a certain attraction, but it's who they meet on the way to that attraction or who they meet when they're there that really makes the day for them, isn't it?
Yeah, it's mixing with the locals, but people really pulled out everything, and obviously Kildare County Council were very supportive in helping support community groups, and there was festivals put on, and it was amazing. It was really touching, and that really for me was makes your job really valuable, in that you see the real tourism part of it. So the roses, obviously there was no Kildare Rose this year as such on so we were taking a break from it this year, but obviously with the way everything turned out, it wouldn't have happened anyway. But it's good.
You mentioned as well, Anya, that you're kind of introducing people to, and people certainly could be from Kildare and not know that these places exist. And I looked at the website. You had 5 gems that you won't find on a guidebook, I think it's called, or something. And places like Killen Thomas Woods, is that the right name for it?
Yeah, I'm not biased there. That's out near Rathangan. So
no, you're messing. Yeah.
But I mean, you should see it with the wild garlic and the bluebell. I mean, you couldn't.
But that's fantastic for families when they're looking for something to do within Kildare or even Dublin or wherever, and they want.
And we have a zoo in Kildare as well, so Kildare Farm Foods.
That's right. Yeah, I've been noticing that. So tell me about that.
And they don't charge, to be honest with you, to go in either. So there's lots of great attractions, and to be honest, I'm still getting around them all myself. And I suppose that's what I tend to do, and try but it's all about engagement. People have to give you the information as well. So
Yeah.
it's been great getting to know people